welcome to a Saturday edition Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all. Hope your Saturday's off to a great start. The annual Wearing of the Green parade today, the St. Patty's Day parade, today in Baton Rouge. Always a fun day in our town. Not so much fun for those of us who are sports fans here in our town. My goodness. Deshaun Watson yesterday got a real turd of a day kicked off by picking Cleveland. Can't say that I blame him. He got $230 million fully guaranteed. That is the most guaranteed money in an NFL contract in history. The previous high was the $150.7 million that Aaron Rodgers just got guaranteed. So if you're keeping score at home, that means Deshaun Watson's guaranteed money set the new bar by $80 million. Bruh. Okay. So I think the Saints were in a great position to land him. And then Jimmy Haslam came in and was like, yeah, I'm a billionaire and I don't like to lose. I'm just going to pay this dude a buttload of money. So disappointed that Watson's not going to be a Saint, but relieved he's not going to be a Falcon. So Watson picks the Browns. Then LSU basketball laid an absolute turd last night against Iowa State. I mean, Iowa State is just. I mean, you gave up 59 points. You gave up 59 points, and you lost the ball game. I don't know there's much to say. I mean, the same things that plagued this team all year plagued them again. They actually kept the personal foul number in check, except for Tari Eason, who committed 2 quickly after being on the floor for just 3 minutes in the first half. Managed to stay in the game, however. Missed 7 free throws. That'll cost you in a game when you lose by 5. 4 of 19 from 3. Shot 21% from 3. Why are you taking 19 threes? I just... Anyway. Listen, once Will Wade was fought, look, this team down the stretch was not very good. Let's call it what it is. And then you take Will Wade away, and I didn't. I thought they'd beat Iowa State and lose to Wisconsin. So I didn't expect a deep run anyway, and I thought this would be an ugly game, but an ugly game they could win. But they didn't. So I think also what everyone kind of got to look at is the grim reality of what faces this basketball program ahead without Will Wade. Baseball Tigers lost a friggin' 4-hour 9-inning baseball game. They lost 6-4. Ty Floyd got the start. 2 innings, they just had him timed. Hit a couple of moonshots against him. And Grant Taylor came in and pitched really well. Pitched 4 innings, didn't allow a run, and allowed you the opportunity, to be in this ball game. And Tigers had a 3-2 lead, and the bullpen couldn't hold him in large part because the defense behind him wasn't good again. 2 more errors, 3 missed plays in the outfield, 2 two by Gio, one in left, one in right, balls that hit his glove that he didn't catch. And then with Razelman on the bump in the 8th, just a little bloop into left where Drew Bianco had gone in, and he horribly misplayed the ball, and it ended up being a double, but it was a bloop in the left that should have been a routine pop fly near the line. Another errant throw by Trey Morgan. There's a throw from Jordan Thompson, pulled Trey off the bag. Trey tried to throw home, threw the ball away, run scored. Defense, man. Defense is just, it's glaring right now. And the other thing you saw also is whenever you, when you don't have your Friday night guy, there is a trickle-down effect, and look at what you just saw. So, if Blake Money's going yesterday, different result. He didn't. Look what happened. You ended up using 8 pitchers. Used 8 pitchers in that ballgame. On a Friday night in the SEC, used 8 pitchers. Good news is you play 29 more, and today's a new day, and you get a chance to come back and try to even up the series. It's why when people are predicting a sweep, I always tell y'all, bro. I always tell y'all, don't predict a sweep. It's hard to do. It's really, really, really hard to do. So, anyway. If there was one positive thing, it was the Pels. Pels managed to win. They blew out, They blew out San Antonio. That's how the Lakers forced overtime. God dog it. Turnover on the inbound and a miracle 3 by Russ. God dog it. Oh well. That sucks. All right, let's say some good mornings. Randy Bennett, good morning. Ryan Amanda Guidry. 4-hour baseball game in 9 innings. Brian Wynn, Craig Duga. I miss Frank Williams Wade. Hey Siri, play. Don't know what you got till it's gone. That's Big Yellow Taxi is the name of the song. The big yellow taxi took my girl away. Don't it always seem to go. Don't know what you got to do. Bob Poole, Casey Landrum. Waited too much to give up for Watson anyway. Casey, I keep hearing people say that, and it's absolutely mind-boggling to me that anyone could believe that. Like, or what are you in it for? Are you in it to win some games, or are you in it to win championships? Because I look around the NFL and I see Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson now in Denver and Joe Burrow turning Cincinnati around in a blink, and I go, oh, I get the common theme. Teams that have elite quarterbacks are the ones that actually have a chance to win. What are you going to do if you're the Saints with the 18th pick? You're going to get a transcendent quarterback at 18? Come on. Like, what am I going to do with 3 first-round picks? Cesar Ruiz, Marcus Davenport, and Peyton Turner? Or Deshaun Watson? Yeah, give me Deshaun Watson over those 3. Like, I don't understand that logic. Every year, you see players drafted and that bust, that don't make the team, that are gone. Like, the odds of you turning, like, in the history of the Saints organization, when have they ever turned a draft pick into a Hall of Fame quarterback? Never. Literally never. The only quarterback they've taken a first round is Archie Manning. He never finished above 500. They never did better than 8-8. Like, Dak Cajun. Watson's thrown for yards. He hasn't won anything because he was on a miserable team. Put him on the Saints with the defense. Give him Michael Thomas. Yeah, you can win. Brutal. I don't understand y'all. Y'all brutal. Like, it's the complete unwillingness to acknowledge, or either that, or you just have not actually watched Deshaun Watson. Like, that's probably more it. You haven't actually watched him play. All you've done is when he became available, you went and looked at his stats. Like, that's probably more it. Because if your take is all Deshaun Watson did is throw for yards, but he didn't want anything, like, that's just dumb. I'm not saying you're done. I'm saying, like, that's just a dumb take. Like, you've never seen him play. That's an indefensible opinion. Greg Phillips, good morning. Brent Roban, where they lost last night without Will Wade. I mean, I just think they did what they always did. They turned the ball over. Poor handling of the basketball, poor shot selection. God, Iowa State was so bad too. God, that was a bad basketball team. Patrick Berglass, Jason Aguilar, don't forget the 20 turnovers. I mean, that was it. It was just they turned the ball over a ton. Was it 20 or was it 19? Uh, 19. Trivia Carter, Brandon, good morning. The other Brandon, good morning. Pretty bleak night for LSU sports. What was the best defensive lineup on the field last night? Was that the best defensive lineup? No. Although I do think Pearson made a nice play and right. Gio played both left and right. He started the game in left, and when Bianco came in, he moved to right. He had misplays in both. I still think Gio's one of your best defensive outfielders. I want him out there, but last night was a brutal night for him. But for a veteran guy who's played as much as he has, that's inexcusable. Bianco's misplay in the ninth, I just expect that from Drew Bianco. The only place I would play Drew Bianco in the field is at second base. It's the only place. He's not athletic enough to play in the outfield. I don't think he has good instincts out there, and I don't think he has the tools to play on the left side of the infield. Literally, the only place I would play him is at second base. Shorter throw to first. Don't get as much action. Yeah, you have to turn the double play, but I think that's the only place I would play him. Anyway. And his strikeout, his pinch hit strikeout was, I mean, how many times do we have to see it? He's sitting on a 3-1 count. He's sitting on a 3, you're a pinch hitter. First batter in the ninth inning, you had a 3-1 count. Like, he is about to groove you a fastball. Take your cut, man. Like, this is the best pitch you're going to see. It's a 3-1 count. Here comes the fastball. Grooves it, leaves the bat on his shoulder. Then strikes out swinging the next pitch. Frustrating, bro. Very frustrating night. C.R. Evans, what's up? Hunter Fournette. Juan, what's up, buddy? Cleveland's going to be selling talent in a year or two to stay under the cap. I don't think so, Hunter. I mean, you've seen the cap gymnastics that the Saints do. You can make it work. Tommy Poole. Hey, Juan, let's see. The game last night felt like the Texas Bowl, miserable to watch. It did. The basketball game, it did. Eric Wildrider, morning Scone. Yesterday made me miss the Texas Bowl. Tell me it's going to be okay. Basketball, no, basketball is not going to be okay. Frankly, basketball is not going to be okay. They're going to get they're going to get popped. You're going to get a postseason ban. You're going to get scholarship restrictions. Just look at comparable cases. I hope it's a 1-year postseason ban and not 2. But But if you get a 2-year postseason ban and let's say 3 scholarship reduction, you've already seen players as part of this recruiting class be released from their letter of intent. Yeah, it's not going to be okay for a while anyway in basketball. I mean, I'm not going to BS y'all. It's going to be, there are like dark days ahead for basketball. The hope is Scott Woodward finds someone who wants this job, who's willing to be patient and rebuild it through sanctions, and eats it for a couple of years, and then hopefully starts to rebuild it. But basketball's gonna be bad. Hey, we got Kim Mulkey today, y'all. Lady Tigers got a shot. Shoot, the softball team lost last night too. Last night was a brutal night, y'all. It was a brutal night. Patrick Dorsey, Larry Garner, Trey Guy, what's good? Brandon, how about an update on Drew? How's he doing? Thank you, man. Yeah, he's good. So for those that missed it earlier this week, Drew broke his arm. Kid ran him over on the playground. It was accidental, but and he took a hard fall. So he broke the humerus bone. So it's near his shoulder. It's up here where he has the fracture. So he'll be in a little brace for 4 weeks. Thank God, didn't need a hard cast. But we're just kind of managing his pain. He's a little tender, but he's already starting to get a little more comfortable with a little more mobility. So just time. We'll be good, though. Thank you. Tom Milliken, Rappaport made the most idiotic statement yesterday. Said Watson chose the Browns because they gave him the best chance to win right now. Yeah, that's stupid. And I do understand, like, the Browns traded for Amari Cooper. You do have Nick Chubb there. You got Myles Garrett. There's some pieces in Cleveland. They're a playoff team. But I think had he come to New Orleans, they're Super Bowl contenders. You pair him with Mike Thomas returning. They re-sign Armstead. You've got a healthy offensive line. Mike Thomas, Deshaun Watson, top 5 defense in the NFL. You're a contender. I'm not going to say you're going to win the Super Bowl, but you're a contender. Edward O. Nicholson couldn't coach an AAU team. Wow. It's Nickelberry, by the way, but sure. Binky Bob. I'll be at the women's game. My crush Mulkey will get it done. Gosh, she's so hot for being an old lady. It's part of the attitude too, isn't it? Hunter Fournette, Ty Floyd with his only fastball got smacked around. This is my surprise face. Got it. Yeah, Ty Floyd could blow fastballs by Bethune-Cookman. He couldn't blow them by the worst offense in the SEC. Shocker. Keith H., good morning. Need a little hustle to brighten the morning. You know what, Keith H.? Why not? Ask, and ye shall receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio. All you need is Hudco. Hudco Roofing. Call Hudco Roofing. 364-1007.
All right, y'all. By the way, if you're going to the Wearing of the Green Parade, I'm not sure what time it starts, but Hudco will be in the Wearing of the Green Parade, so look out for some Hudco hats will be thrown. Taz, Browns have a top 5 defense, top 3 O-line, best running back duo, good weapons to throw to, along with $230 million, great situation. Adding Amari Cooper, yes. Obviously, mentioned Chubb. Let's see. I don't know why I'm nobody really cares about this, but I mean, Cleveland was middle of the pack statistically and everything. Let's see. Offense was middle of the pack, 340 yards a game. Let's see. Rushing offense, Cleveland was fourth. Let's see. Defense, total yards, 1, 2, 3. Cleveland was fifth in total yards. And their rush defense was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was 12th. The Saints were fourth. I guess that's my point. Like, he definitely makes them a playoff team. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, especially coming out of that division. And then just looking at what else is around the AFC. So, are they a playoff team? Well, they were 8-9 last year. Could they get to 10 wins, be a playoff team? Yeah. Are they a Super Bowl contender this year? I don't think so. We'll see. Kenneth Martin, Matt, what the hell's happened to our spring sports? Thank God for the Fighting Monkeys. So, well, basketball's a winter sport, and that's over. So spring sports, you're talking, baseball, softball. Damn. Excuse me. Baseball just desperately needs Blake Money to be okay. They need him to be okay. If he's okay and can pitch on Fridays, I feel infinitely better about this team. But you saw what happened last night. You didn't have Blake Money. You tried to piece together a game, and the risk in doing that is when you use 8 pitchers, 5 can pitch really well, but if 3 don't have their good stuff, well, then you're giving up runs. So it's not really a formula that you can count on. So they got to find guys that they can hand the ball to and say, get me into at least the middle of the game. At least give me 4 or 5. Let's see. Richard Kahn, what's good? Counting Crows, yeah. But that was a remake. Brock Blanchard, we don't get Baker, right? Yeah, not get Baker. They're going to re-sign Jameis. Jason Aguilar, Roy, Dean Jones, more Matt. Where do we go from here? No, it's Jameis. By the way, talked about this on AFR yesterday. Listen, they're going to re-sign Jameis. And I think the only reason, a couple things. If you are, here it is, I'll post it. If you are Jameis, the only reason you wouldn't re-sign with New Orleans is because you got your feelings hurt. And in professional sports, there's really not much time for hurt feelings. Also, if you're Jameis, what are your options? What are your options? If you're Jameis, your only other option really is the Colts. So are you going to sign with a place where they know you, they brought you here, you came to learn, you know the personnel, the staff, like you know it, or are you going to be sour because they pursued a all-pro caliber quarterback and then just go sign with Indianapolis in a decidedly lesser situation? People asking about Baker Mayfield, I would so much prefer Deshaun Watson, of course Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston over Baker Mayfield. I think you have two guys that were both former number 1 overall picks that didn't make it with the team that drafted them. Jameis played his 5th season. Baker did not. Obviously, just finished his fourth. I mean, with the team that drafted him. So no fifth-year option there for Cleveland. They could trade Baker, but why would a team, like look at quarterback needy teams right now, who's going to give up an asset for Baker Mayfield? Baker, the 2020 season, when he threw 26 touchdowns, 8 picks, was his best season. He certainly regressed this past year. You could say the injury certainly had something to do with it. But I don't know that you're looking at a player that you ever think is the guy that's going to complete, be the efficient 68, 70% completion, mature leader of a franchise. I think that's why Cleveland's moving on. So I would rather Jameis over Baker. I think that the ceiling is much higher with Jameis than Baker, and he's got 2 years of equity built up in your organization. Shelby Kelly, yesterday I felt like sitting Gavin was a bit of an overreaction. That wasn't it, Shelby. He was sick. Gavin Dugas was sick. He didn't make it to the park. Warren Beasley, morning, Matt Watson not coming might be a blessing in disguise since Winston used the draft to put weapons around him. I would, if you gave me Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston in draft picks, I want Deshaun Watson. Like, I don't think you all, not all of you, some of you understand. Like, you're not conceptualizing or acknowledging the importance of elite level quarterback play. Like, you had it for 15 years with Drew Brees. You didn't have it for the first 40 years of the history of this franchise, which is why you never won a damn thing. So you've got to prioritize it. The Saints have had picks for their whole existence of their franchise. Until Drew Brees came along, they never had an elite quarterback. Hence, they never won anything. Like, there were seasons they won games with a good defense and serviceable play quarterback, the Bobby Hebert, Dalton Hilliard days, whatever. But, like, y'all, if you actually want to win a championship, you have to have a quarterback. The Saints don't have one. I hope Jameis becomes that. I know Deshaun Watson is that at 26 years old. Craig, knowing what you know now, would you change the Will Wade era? I wouldn't. It was the funnest 4 years I've had as an LSU basketball fan. Boot all the way up, boss. Craig, I would have said, well, 5 years, by the way, for Wade. But if they had won something of significance, I would not have changed it. For example, Louisville won a national title in 2013 with Rick Pitino, 2013, 2014. And they had vacated and all that stuff, but they got to experience that. LSU never got to experience anything like that with Will. So, no. Bernard Snyder. People saying Baker's coming to the Saints. Kirk Taylor, Reagan Lee, as much as I hate to say the boot up era is over, just like Brian Kelly isn't going to say go Tigers after every interview, next coach won't say boot up. That's okay. And I'm okay with the next coach not saying go Tigers after every interview. Nick Saban didn't say it. He doesn't say roll tide after every interview. They're doing a tribute to John Clayton. I want to get Sean Salisbury on the air on Monday to talk about this. John Clayton died. You know, they call it the quarterback and the professor. Travis Roy, R.I.P. John Clayton, yeah. Damn right. Boy, he was, in an era at ESPN where they were stars, And he really embraced the nerd persona. The Slayer commercial was awesome. Yeah. But he was part of those cuts, man. When ESPN made their sweeping personnel cuts a few years ago, because look, as much as I hate to say it, this is a good illustration of where our profession in some respects have gone. So they laid off a whole bunch of reporters. Why? Because in the social media era, a lot of athletes take reporting into their own hands on their social media, right? Player has surgery, he tweets a picture of himself or herself coming out of the OR. Surgery went great, whatever. That's one. But look at the value of good reporting just this week. When the Twitter guy from Atlanta broke the news that Deshaun Watson was going to be an Atlanta Falcon, and then later had to come back and delete his Twitter because he was wrong. The bloggers, the podcasters, it's harder now than ever for consumers to know what's good information, who's credible, and who to trust. It was easy then because if they said it, you believed it because they were always right, because they were credible and they were good journalists. There are good journalists now, but the highest paid employee at ESPN is Stephen A. Smith. He makes $12 million a year because he yells loud and is controversial and gets clicks and views and all that sort of stuff, because that's what's valued now. It's the reality of it. Jason, are we a swimming school now? Chris Crochet often should have scored more than 4 last night. I agree. Jeff McKithen, Craig Duga, air up balls. We're a frisbee school now. Okay. Kyle Gallo. They talked about stretching Fontenot out in the fall for him to go longer. Any chance he moves into a starting role? People keep asking that, but every time Jay Johnson has been asked about Devin Fontenot, he keeps saying that he likes having Devin Fontenot in high leverage situations at the end of a game. Kirk, baseball season just started. While panicking, Helmers needs to step up. Not impressed by Floyd's lack of progress. Listen, man, agree there's no reason to panic. But it's also naive if you neglect to acknowledge some very real issues, which when you're 20 games into a season now, you're a third of the way into your season, your defense is an issue. Your lack of starting pitching is an issue. And those are things that will cost you at the end of the season. I mean, that's, if you don't get them fixed, I don't know how you get them fixed, but you're going to have Blake Money healthy, and you're going to have somebody step up into a starting role. And maybe it's Hilliard and a guy like Garrett Edwards. Edwards doesn't have overpowering stuff, but what he has is command, and he's like kind of that bulldog competitor. Maybe he's the guy that can take the ball for you on Saturday and Sunday and go get you outs. Not going to overpower people. Do you think Armstead's gone now that Watson went to Cleveland? Probably, because I don't think the Saints are going to pay him $22 million a year. That's a guess. I don't know, but probably. Craig Duga, don't know what you got till it's gone. Cinderella from the famous Monster Ballads commercial was what I was talking about. Oh. Tom Granig, what's up? It looks like Ed Ogeron's doing well, shirtless in Cabo, giving death stares to 20-year-olds. That's about right. Not my problem anymore, though, so I don't care. Go do whatever he wants. Daniel Sinet's Tom Granig. They'll smash the like button there on YouTube. 130 watching. Thank you. Only 38 likes. Please smash that like button. We appreciate y'all. 55 watching there on Facebook. Like the page, share the post. Always shout out to Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. After hours clinic's open. You need an orthopedist. You go to Brock. Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. You need a roof? Give us a shout at Hudco. HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. Free inspections. Free, no obligation roofing inspections. It's funny, every time it rains, like seriously, I tell you this all the time, you'll think I'm joking, or maybe you just don't believe me, you just don't think of it until it matters to you. Every time it rains, every time it rains, the next day, our phone rings off the hook. Because I tell you all the time, there's 2 ways to know if you have roof damage. Number 1, get on your roof and you do an inspection and find it. Number 2, you wait till it rains and you get water in your house. And most people don't call for the free, no obligation roofing inspection. They wait till they get water in the house. And that's an option, but it's not the better option. I would highly recommend you let us come do a roof inspection. It is totally free, like really, really free. HUDCOroofing.com. Just fill out the contact form. Like, you literally don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want. Go to HUDCOroofing.com, fill out the form. We'll schedule to be at your house. You don't even have to be home. No one comes in, you don't have to be home. We'll do a full inspection report, send it to you. If we recommend a roof repair or replacement, we can even take care of filing and claim with your insurance, all this stuff. John Moran's so good. Oh my God. We got hurt. Soreness. He's so good though. Patrick Dorsey, good morning. Larry Gardner. Trey Guy, good morning. Brandon, errors. Where are we? Okay, Hunter. Under Jay Johnson, are we going to suck on defense every year? I don't believe so, Hunter. No. But I will say, I mean, you were missing your starting left fielder yesterday. The guy who also led your team in RBI, led the SEC in RBI last year, and would have started in left field, and you could put Gio in right. Not to say Pearson cost LSU the game or anything, but you did have a lot of movement around in the outfield. It was probably unnecessary. You're also missing Milazzo in a big way. There was a play at the plate last night that on the ball Trey Morgan threw that McManus let get away, run scored. There was a pass ball that allowed runners to advance that ultimately came in on a chopper to third that Barry couldn't make the play in time. And that runner was on base because of a walk. That's the other thing is, you got 2 left-handed pitchers you keep running out there, and Riley Cooper and Schaefer. And man, I get why you feel like you want to have lefties because you want to go matchup sometimes. But last night you brought Trey Schaefer in the 9th inning for a lefty-lefty matchup, and he issued a 4-pitch walk. I mean, you brought him in to get a left-hander out in the lefty-lefty matchup, and he walked the kid in 4 pitches. Like, I can't give that guy the ball. Not in a high-leverage situation in the 9th inning of a game like that. Molly Kellop, Scone, do you think the Saints should sign Jarvis Landry? I do. But it doesn't seem like their interest in Jarvis is super keen. But I do. I love the idea of signing Jarvis Landry. Kyle Milliken, hell no, we don't want Baker. Rather roll with Jameis. I agree. Taz, I'm good with the team we have now. Sign Winston, the draft. Wide receivers were good. Okay. Micah Hurd, what's up? Gabriel Fernando. Let's see about the Deshaun Watson situation. It's all about the money. He had ruled the Browns out, but all of a sudden he accepted the contract. It's all about money. He don't care about his career. We want money. I'll tell you this much, Gabriel. Something that Terrio said yesterday was a good point. Look at the 5-year deal on Watson at 26. He'll put $230 million in his pocket. And if at the end of 5 years, the Browns still aren't winning anything, he's only 31. He's put $250 million in his pocket, and he's 31 and can still make a decision to go win somewhere in his 30s. It's actually a really good, astute point by Terrio. So, yeah, you take the money because theoretically, you still have a lot of runway for your Deshaun Watson to win in your career. Gulf South, it's especially hard to sweep when you don't have your Friday night guy. But I'll tell you, man, I was told yesterday, I mean, the plan is to go Floyd, Money, TBD, and Money's going to pitch today if he's able. So, but y'all, earlier this week, oh, that sucks. I hadn't seen that. I heard about it. I hadn't seen it. David Ajabo from Michigan tore his Achilles in his pro day workout. Ugh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Let's see, Mont Dog, glad Atlanta didn't get. Now I agree with that. Like that's one thing that I said a bunch is, as disappointing as it is that the Saints didn't get Deshaun Watson. It's I'm equally relieved that Atlanta didn't get him either. You don't play against him. Let's see, Brandon. One thing to sacrifice defense for offense when you're scoring 15 runs a game. This team isn't scoring 15 runs. Brandon, I mean, they came in averaging 9 runs a game. Like, if they had scored their average, then yes, they win that game easily. But they didn't. They had opportunities. I tell you, I had a scout who's at the game last night text me, the starter Detmer from A&M. He said this kid is a big leaguer, and he's not been there. Like he pitched on Saturday last week. Detmer did. He's got an ERA almost 5, and he handcuffed LSU. I mean, scout was like, this dude's stuff. Like he has big league stuff. I was like, wow, it's impressive. Let's see, Robert Cooley, both LSU teams lost. Deshaun Watson picks the Browns over the Saints. Carlos Correa picked the Twins over the Astros all in one day. I need a morning whiskey. Yeah, I know. The Pels won. Rob Boudreaux, what's up? Edwardo. Tommy Poole, spring practice starts next week. Yep, start on Thursday. Yeah, the Pelicans destroyed the Spurs. The Spurs. The Spurs. Oh, Nikki Fargas on TV. They 2010 Pac-12 Coach of the Year, WNBA Las Vegas Aces president. They don't mention anything about her time at LSU. Her inglorious career at LSU. The Spurs scored 10 points in the first quarter against the Pels. That was a record low point total allowed in a quarter by the Pelicans. 10. The Spurs scored 10 points in the first quarter. I had 3 screens going last night. Had LSU basketball, Pels, and LSU baseball. Let's see. Let's see. Dat Cajun, I guess next he will say something to defend the errors in baseball. That's not the player's fault. What does that have to do with anything? Like, bro, you can be sour, but if you're sitting here legitimately trying to poo-poo the impact of Deshaun Watson, bro, you don't watch. Like, that's why do you think a team just gave him $230 million guaranteed? Nobody's out there knocking down the door to give Jameis $230 guaranteed. Bro, come on. Pat Huseman, what's up? Gulf South, I agree Watson is a top 8-ish quarterback. To be fair, Watson, one of the best wide receivers in Hopkins, multi-defensive player of the year in J.J. Watt. He has dudes in Houston with him. Okay. And look at the receivers Tom Brady had last year. Aaron Rodgers thrown to Devontae Adams. Like, what's your point? Stephon Diggs in Buffalo with Josh Allen. I mean, what's your point? I mean, there's a yin and yang there. Sometimes the best receivers amplify the quarterback, and sometimes it works the other way around. How many times have you seen receivers' careers tank when their quarterback isn't there anymore? That's true. Brandon said they had their chances, bases loaded with no outs in the eighth to get back-to-back groundouts and a strikeout. It's true. They blew it. Seems like majority of our hitters take the first strike before swinging. Eduardo, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with making them throw you a strike first. Especially in college where you don't have the type of command with college pitchers that you will at professional level. But if that's the case, you have to be able and willing to hit with two strikes. And that's something under Maneri that they really struggled with. LSU didn't strike out a bunch because they didn't often get to two strike counts because they weren't very good at hitting with two strikes. They couldn't, like there was the AB against Raiselman that gave A&M the lead in the ninth when the kid just kept fouling off 96-mile-an-hour fastballs and then hit the little flare over second base. Like Ben McDonald even pointed it out. That kid was unafraid of hitting with two strikes. He had choked up on the bat, like you could see the knob sticking out, and he was just taking defensive swings. And all he was trying to do was just put the ball in play to get that run home. And he did. Like, some dudes are unafraid to hit with two strikes. I mean, it is a mentality. Robert Cooley, how many years do you think basketball will be down? I'm assuming sanctions will last 2 or 3 years. Postseason ban and scholarship restrictions. So if your slate isn't clean again for 3 years, you got to give at least 2 to build. So I'd say 4 years before you could realistically expect them in the tournament again. That's optimistic. That's if you get the right guy who's able to get players and all that sort of stuff. Connor O'Neill, college basketball being a bad product, was on full display last night with LSU and Iowa State. Exactly. That was an NCAA tournament game. 2 very bad basketball teams. Let me rephrase that. 2 teams not protecting the basketball, committing silly fouls, missing wide open shots. Yes. A poorly played game, yes. Wes Bolich, are you betting anything in the basketball tournament today? I need a Scone lock. Got killed yesterday. Wes, Otter gave out 3 yesterday at the end of the show. I'm trying to remember who he gave us now. But he did, I think North Carolina. He gave us 3 picks today. Gosh, dog it. Go back and listen to AFR. Go to the YouTube channel and watch the very end of the show. He did come on for Otter Locks at the end, and he gave us 3 picks. And Otter's kind of been crushing it a little bit. So I'm trying to remember off the top of it. North Carolina was one of them. I don't want to tell you and be wrong. North Carolina was one. I think St. Peter's, with all the points they're getting against Murray State. Check it, but he gave you 3 at the end of the game yesterday. Check it out. Lowell Cormier, what's good? Kyle Aycock, whiskey and wine for the spring game? Probably not. Honestly, probably not. Ed hasn't worn a shirt since he was fired. Shelby, Tay Martin from Oklahoma State should be a 2 to 4 round guy. The Saints should look at solid wide receiver option. Kid from home. Yeah, I'm familiar. Lon Hamilton. How many years do you think it would? Well, that was basketball. Right. I said 4. Like I'm assuming. So I was having this conversation earlier this week with someone who Handy and I were having this conversation, and we were trying to do sort of comparative analysis of other cases of would it be a 1-year postseason ban or 2, looking at what other schools have gotten. He thinks it's probably going to be 1 year. I think that LSU is going to get absolutely hammered. I think they're going to get a 2-year postseason ban. I think Wade's going to get a 10-year show cause, and I think LSU is also going to lose scholarships. It's like I think the NCAA is going to. There's y'all tell me anything you've seen from the NCAA to suggest that they're going to be lenient on LSU. You could say, and this is the one thing, well, they did fire Will Wade, and maybe that sort of proactive step of firing Will Wade would gain some leniency, but they kept Will Wade for 3 years. Like they strung this thing along and strung it out. So I don't think that there's going to be leniency. So I hope so, but my guess is you're looking at 2-year postseason ban and scholarship restrictions. If that's the case, it's going to be hard to get anybody to come here for the 2 years during the postseason ban, right? Unless if you're going to go recruit 4-year guys. And it's hard to win at a high level if you're recruiting 4-year guys, if you're not recruiting NBA guys. And then we also don't know on this roster who's going to leave. I mean, if you get hit with sanctions, you can leave and not have any transfer penalty. I mean, obviously now that's the case anyway, but who would stay? Who of these guys would stay? So I mean, you may have to make over your entire roster. So it's man, then you're trying to hire a coach, and you're going to hire that coach without knowing what the sanctions are going to be. Because you're going to hire a coach before the sanctions come. Anyway. Samuel Merrifield, Matt, this team will get to the top 25. I'm sorry. Matt, this team will get it together and have a great season. I think Dutton and Taylor have bright futures as stars. I agree. But you know what, Samuel? We would have said the same thing last year about Floyd and Coleman. Coleman's loss is a big one, y'all. We don't talk about it enough. But look at what happened yesterday, right? And by the way, I agree with you on Dutton and Taylor. I think Taylor was really good last night. But, last night when Jay wanted a lefty, he let both Cooper and Schaefer pitch, and neither could get outs. I mean, you've got two guys who throw the ball left-handed, but they're not effective. So I don't know how you justify keep giving them the baseball. But I agree with you on Dutton and Taylor. I think they're both really good. Let's see. Joey B19, Aggies, the worst team in the conference. Losing a series to them at home would be unacceptable. I agree with you completely. So you have to win today. Like, you can't win the series if you don't win today, obviously. #math. So hope Blake Money's good to go. Go win the series. Then hope tomorrow you give the ball to McHale. He can pitch well. Let's see. Our defense consistently sucking is unacceptable. We've got the talent, but magically catch changes and defense sucks. But magically catch changes and defense sucks. I guess it's coach changes and defense sucks. Seems like a Jay Johnson problem. Well, okay, a couple things. I don't think it's magically the coach changes and the defense sucks. I think, number one, Maneri always he favored defense over offense, especially premium positions. So he would give up offense to have a premium defender in at a premium defensive position. I think they wanted to find a spot for Jacob Berry early because at third, he's not a plus defender. So they thought, what if we could get a plus defender in at third? Could we hide Berry in the outfield? Well, Berry in the outfield didn't go great. He's better at third than he is. Not great, but he's better at third than he is in right. So I think you've solved that, or you've answered that question for now. The errors with Thompson and Doty on the infield, both of those guys are fine. Like, they can play their positions and they can play them at a high level. They just need to slow down. Milazzo behind the plate solves a lot of the issues that you're having right there. McManus, his inability to frame pitches, to block up balls, like, it's just a significant drop-off from Milazzo to McManus. I told y'all that last year, and a lot of y'all kept crapping on me because I kept telling you about Milazzo, but it's just very obvious. He is an elite defensive catcher. You are better with him in the ballgame. Your pitchers are better. Your defense is better. Everything is better. Control the running game, all of it, with Milazzo in the game. So, and if you want to argue, we'll put Collier Cranford in at short. Well, Jordan Thompson hit a walk-off homer against Oklahoma, which won the game. Hit a homer last night, opposite field for you. I mean, you're not taking that bat out of the lineup. Kid's hitting 400 right now. So you just need to tell him defensively, hey, man, just slow down. It doesn't matter if the guy is out by a foot or by 5 feet. He's still out. So take your time, set your feet, and make an accurate throw. Let's see. Merrick, so why did the Saints change? Vegas changed the odds on the Saints to win the Super Bowl. Apparently, they did it for all the teams that were in the sweepstakes. Saints, Falcons, they were all in it for Deshaun. Robert Cool, and odds change often. Thanola Gold played tonight, very good. See, Mont said every other team drafts quarterbacks in the first round. We don't. Why would you draft a quarterback in the first round when Drew Brees was your quarterback for the last 15 years? You tell me an instance where when you were in win now mode with Drew Brees for 15 years, why you would use a first round pick on a player that's just going to sit and watch. I would have never been okay with that, ever. I'd have been okay with drafting players that were going to make you better to win right now. Kyle Milliken, I guess the silver lining is we cleared a lot of cap space so we can add some really good players. That's true. Just because you have it doesn't mean you have to spend it. I'll be interested to see what they do if they're able to re-sign Armstead. I don't think they will. I just don't think they're willing to pay what other teams will for a franchise left tackle. Brian Pinton, good morning from Durham, North Carolina. Y'all smash that like button if you would. We got 123 watching there, only 59 likes. Just take a quick second, smash that like button. If you're watching on mobile, you see the live chat, just X out of the live chat. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the live chat function again. Comments come right back. Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. They're the best. We were there earlier this week, as a matter of fact, with Drew. X-rays, they do, as we mentioned, pediatrics. So we saw Dr. Brad Collada there for pediatrics. Calici, by the way. And Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Matt, would you consider Archie Manning an elite quarterback? For the Saints, he was. He had no help, had a terrible offensive line, not much skill around him. But I mean, in the context of Saints history, yes. But they never won more than 8 games with him. I would have told Wade to get a bag man and a burner phone, right? Everybody cheats. He was just careless. Let's see. Matt Plavidal, LSU just needs to hire that coach from Blue Chips. Neon Bedeau would be here. Neon Bedeau. It was Nick Nolte, by the way. Paulo Balboa, Matt Maneri pushed out. Embarrasses himself, and the program gets fired. Wade is fired. Has LSU ever been in this awful situation in its history? Good question. Well, I'll put it to you this way. Never have placed football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball all in an 11-month span. That's never happened before. And that's Scott very much wanting to clean up the messes of Joe Oliva and put his own stamp on this athletic department, get it moving in the right direction. He had a seismic opportunity, condition that he walked into here. Okay. Gabriel Moscona, can we be concerned about DA's Raiders past or the Saints X Bucks showed something different? Moscona, can we be concerned about DA's Raiders past or that the Saints times Bucks showed something different? Oh, are you talking about the 9-0 win? When he was filling in for Peyton. Concerned about his Raiders past? Okay. The Raiders are a dreadful organization. Wasn't his quarterback there Matt McGloin, if I'm not mistaken? There's just something to be said for there's just something to be said for being in a stable organization with a good roster and I understand the question. In 2012 with the Raiders, he had Matt Leinart and Carson Palmer at quarterback. In 2013, he had Matt Flynn and Matt McGloin. And then in 2014, when he was fired, they had just drafted Derek Carr, and they had Matt McGloin and Matt Schaub. I mean, y'all. Hey, Don Jolibois. Good morning, Stephen Fry. Hashtag Matt. Kyle Gallo, is Joe Bear that bad in the field that JJ won't swap Joe Bear and Barry? Right? It's not that. Barry's not playing right anymore. Barry's playing third base. And Joe Bear could play right, but Gio's a better option in right field defensively than Joe Bear, and Gio's hitting, so he's going to play there. So Dugas is going to be in left. You play Gio in right. You DH Joe Bear. That's easy. Right? Barry's not in right field anymore. Barry's playing third base. When's the first day of spring practice? Thursday. Brian Jones, I'm still baffled at how Oliva even got here to begin with. I know I'm preaching to the crowd, but he was horrible. Especially considering he was directly responsible for the Duke lacrosse scandal, which cost Duke tens of millions of dollars in settlements and untold amounts of negative publicity because he's the one who decided to fire the coach and suspend the season and all that sort of stuff based on allegations that proved to be wholly false and made up. Yes, Joe Oliva is, when I say that, I mean it in a very literal sense. Joe Oliva is the worst athletic director I have ever seen. Ever. Look at the carnage he has left at LSU that Scott Woodward's trying to clean up right now. Jared Addison, my roof is growing ferns on it, extra layer of protection. But those ferns are going to absorb the water, and then it'll leak through on your roof, saturating. It'll be a bad thing. Mod Dog, they always got bum free agent quarterbacks until Drew. That's true. I think the most excited people were for a free agent quarterback before Breeze was Jim Everett. And then he threw over a table and beat up Jim Rome on live TV, and that just didn't go well. David Wallace, when is T-Bob starting the Kidditch team? I don't know what that is, sorry. But it sounds like something he would do. It does sound like something he would do. Let's see. 9 starters, 1 guy missing is the reason. Got it. What are you talking about? I don't know what that's relating to. Hated to see LSU basketball go down like that. Without their general, it was too much to overcome. Yeah, they just weren't very good. I don't know that it would have mattered, quite honestly. I mean, they lost, 11 of their final 18. I mean, it was just, once they started the spiral, it was just, they never really got it back on the tracks. Matt, plov it off, and being honest, haven't cared about basketball since Shaq left. Enjoyed a few years with Brady. One Trent Johnson a year, a few years with Wade. LSU will never be relevant in basketball. So, Matt, I'd hesitate to say they'll never be relevant because it's similar to like Florida, I would say. It's the same job as Florida. You got resources. It's a football school. You just have to get the right coach that can win at an elite level and make people care. Billy Donovan did that at Florida. And, LSU, when they hired Wade, thought they were hiring their version of Billy Donovan, which would have been great. And Wade certainly looked like he was on his way to making LSU a consistent tournament team and potential contender. And, well, we know where it is now. But it's a hard job. It's a hard job because there isn't a... the fan interest isn't to the level of places like Kansas or Kentucky or Duke or North Carolina, where it's just, if you're not winning at an elite level, you're fired. LSU football is an example. Ed Ogeron wins a title, a year and a half later, he's fired. It's, the expectation is perpetually greatness. And that's not the standard for LSU basketball. It is for LSU baseball. But it wasn't always. It was built. So someone can come in and build it and make people care at that level. It's just, LSU has basically been a program in basketball where it's just been peaks and valleys, man. Yeah. All right. Mom, I'm done with my segment. John Clayton, so good. If you're just joining us, appreciate you for being here. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco is pinned in the comments on both Facebook and YouTube. Need a roof inspection, give us a shout there, HudcoRoofing.com. Chet Buxton, how far does he drop with a torn Achilles? I don't know. The kid from Michigan. Rob Boudreaux doesn't help the argument. His ERA is 5. He handcuffed our lineup. So, Rob, the point, I think you're talking about the kid from A&M last night. The point I was making with the scout said his stuff. Like, he has big league stuff. So, I haven't watched his previous 4 starts this year, so I don't know what contributed to that. Like, context matters. I mean, look at Razorman last night. You look at Razorman's line, it doesn't look good. Razorman pitched pretty well. I mean, the bloop over second base, not his fault. There was a grounder to third that Barry and Thompson kind of got crossed up a little bit. Dude was safe at first, run came home, that sort of stuff. As Roger Cato would say, you could hit a ball 380 feet and it's an out, or you could hit a ball 5 feet and it's a single. That's just baseball. It's a really bad Roger Cato impersonation. My apologies. Jeb, what's up, man? Sorry if you've already covered this. Any leads on basketball head coach candidate? Good morning. Only names that I've heard, talked about early. I think, if you're looking at Scott Woodward dream candidates, Scott Drew from Baylor, Tony Bennett at Virginia. Are you willing to pay them $6 million a year to get them? Are they willing to leave their spot for that? You go mid-major, I've heard people mention Matt McMahon from Murray State. Somebody mentioned Kelvin Sampson. I don't know how you hire Kelvin Sampson. He's 66 years old, and he had it's a guy that's also, he at one point had a show cause from his time in Indiana. So how do you fire a coach for sanctions and then hire a coach that's already gotten popped with sanctions as well? Geo Cosmic 333. Last time the Pels made the playoffs, they beat the Spurs on the road. I know. Actually, no, they didn't. The last time they made the playoffs, they beat Portland. Well, technically, they made the playoffs in the bubble. But Portland, or they went to the bubble to try to make the playoffs, what it was. They beat Portland, and when Portland had home court advantage, and then lost to the Warriors, lost to the Dubs. I see. I'm sorry. I misread it, Geocosmic. I'm sorry. The last 4 times they made the playoffs, they beat the Spurs on the road. Got it. Okay. You're saying during the season they beat the Spurs on the road. Let's see. Are Landry, OBJ, and Matthews signed yet? Jarvis, no. No, all of them are no. Marcus DeCluet, Baker to NO. I don't think so. I would prefer Jameis to Baker. I don't know why you would trade an asset to Cleveland for Baker Mayfield. I think if you get Baker, you're in a similar situation as with Jameis, former number 1 overall pick. But I still believe Jameis has the higher ceiling than Baker. Hey.
Can you lift him up a bit?
Yeah.
My back hurts.
Hang on one second, y'all. You can come say hi. You want to come? You can come say hi, Dad. Show. Come see. Come see Daddy. Come see. Come say hi, Dad. Show. Hey, come see. No. You go. He gone. He gone. 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 Before I change him? Let me put it on. I'll put it on over his pajamas. Oh, thank you, Edward. St. Peter's, North Carolina, and Michigan were odds picks. Okay, thank you. Animator 73. Why so many errors? How can Johnson fix it? Can he really fix it this year? Thompson is bad. Thompson's not bad. He's not. He's very capable. He was very good last year. The throwing errors are just him not taking his time. It's literally just slow down. He's he's a very capable SEC shortstop.
Dave, on your brace.
Come see, buddy. Let's put on your brace.
Look at that.
Come see. Come see.
Look away.
Ready?
Look away.
Good job.
Good job.
I know.
There you go.
Here you go. You touch your.
Bionic arm.
I think it was better when you had the brace on.
It's stable. Yes, it's stable.
Here, come sit over here. Come see.
We take his brace off when he sleeps.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna wash my hair.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so Animator 73, why so many errors? Kind of went through that a little bit. I mean, I think Thompson at short, I mean, it's like, it's throwing errors. It's just him going too fast. I posted a clip of this from the Riot podcast this week if you missed it. I put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, Facebook. But Terrio, I think, did a really good job. He talked about it. He said, look, Terrio as a freshman, I didn't know this, but Terrio as a freshman led the SEC in errors. I didn't know that. And he said, like, the best advice he ever got, he was talking about, you're talking to Omar Vizquel, and to make that play, you've got to do three things. You got to catch the ball, you've got to transfer the ball, and you've got to accurately throw the ball. He said when guys commit errors, it's when they don't do all three of those individually, they speed through the process, and they don't get their feet set, they don't make the accurate throw, whatever. Or they're trying to transfer before they've caught the ball. And it's true, it makes a lot of sense. And that's where he got the line, if a guy's out by a step or 5 steps, still out. So have that clock in your head and take your time and make an accurate, secure the ball, transfer it, make an accurate throw. I think that's literally just it for Jordy right now. It's just take your time, make an accurate throw. When he does that, he'll be fine. Because he showed he did it last year. He could do it. I mean, the outfield issues, Cruz is a plus defender and center. I mean, he's a 5-tool guy. That's not even a question. And Gio's a good outfielder. Last night was uncharacteristic. I mean, he had two balls that hit his glove last night that hit the ground. They only ruled one of them an error, but both should have been errors. I mean, he should have caught both of them. And misplays in the outfield, if you include Bianco in the 9th, misplays in the outfield cost LSU three runs last night. Anyway. Right. Let's see, Christian, I prefer Watson over Jameis, of course. But I still think if the Saints get Armstead back on board, we're a playoff Super Bowl contender pending the Kamara situation. Well, the only way they're a Super Bowl contender is if Jameis elevates, which I think he can. I mean, I've been more bullish on Jameis than most. I would absolutely prefer Deshaun Watson because he's a no-doubter. Let's see. Mississippi State lost to Georgia 11-0 game. Georgia's Friday night guy is a dude. Second-year guy, pitched last year, has sort of taken that step, and he's a future first-rounder. Georgia's Friday night guy's a dude. And State lost Landon Sims. I mean, y'all want to see what losing your Friday night guy means? Look at LSU losing Blake Money, and look at Mississippi State losing Landon Sims. I mean, look at what it does to you. When you don't have a guy at the front of a rotation that you can give the ball to and say, go give me 7-8 innings and lock it down. I mean, I don't know if Mississippi State would have won that game if Sims was available. They wouldn't have lost 11-0. Is Handy coming back to 104.5 permanently? Golf stuff, I honestly don't know that. I know he's not with Match Point anymore. I know he's been doing more stuff with Ott. I don't know. Like, if he came back, I mean, I know he does stuff with us in pregame or on game days, post game, whatever. I don't know. I really don't know that. Like, I don't. Like, if you're asking, like, is sports today going back to 11-1? No, that's not happening. I mean, they got Hunting Hill in place, and could he be with Ott more frequently? That's a he and Ott question. Ott's an independent contractor, so he's got a little bit of a different deal. Anyway, so I don't know. I can't answer that. Rohit, good morning. Just waking up from a long night in Milwaukee. Oh, God bless you. Hope the night out after was better than the night watching ball. Morning, Matt. So depressed by the state of LSU men's basketball losing Watson to the Browns. Stinks as well. Just a rough day. Yesterday sucked. You don't get Deshaun Watson. Basketball gets bounced. Baseball loses. I mean, yesterday sucked. The Lakers won. Yesterday sucked. As a sports fan, yesterday sucked. Taz, Quan is 26. I'd like to see the Saints give him a 3-year deal. If he could prove he can stay healthy. Does baseball get to Omaha this year? Well, it's hard to say it after last night, right? If Blake Money is healthy, they have a chance. But they've got to find at least a second starter, which they don't have right now. Long way to go, though. David Wallace, going to be some lean times. Saints need a quarterback and likely some OL too. LSU basketball is going to get hammered by the NCAA. Basketball roster will be totally different the next couple of years. Come on, baseball. Well, Jay's recruiting exceptionally well. I think LSU will continue to have talent. Development of that talent, putting it all together, creating that culture. It'll help. They'll get there. Let's see. 2017, the Saints originally going to draft Mahomes instead of Lattimore. You tell me you wouldn't have been okay with that, knowing what you know. Of course I would have been. Absolutely would have been okay with that now. The big difference you're talking about, and again, that's a knowing what you know now. You're talking about in hindsight. So you're talking about when the Saints were, when they had Drew Brees, they were in perpetual win now mode, they weren't taking a first rounder. Yes, they were going to draft Mahomes in 2017, and then Kansas City jumped ahead of them. They got Lattimore. It's worked out with Lattimore as well, but it also speaks to the need for an elite quarterback. Also, might they have been done with Brees before? But the other part of that too, Taz, is if you don't have Lattimore, are you 13-3 and the 1 seed, or Lattimore and Ramchick, which you both took in 2017? Would you have been okay? Would you have been the 1 seed in 2018 hosting the NFC Championship game? I get it, no call. But again, you're playing the benefit of hindsight. Are you there without those players? Maybe not. Trey guy. Crypto making a comeback. Let's break through that ceiling. I'd love to. LSU sway. Let's go. Y'all get your game going. We're coming, y'all. I'm telling you. Just be patient. Wasn't the NFL season 14 games when Archie played? No, because he had an 8-8 season. 1978. 78 is when they went to 16 games. So Archie played with the Saints from 71 to 82. So he was there for the switch. The 8-8 season was in. Mm, 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 mm. There were 7-9. Excuse me. There were 7-9 in 1978. So the first year of 18. The first year they played 16 games. They went 7-9. I said 8-8. It was 7-9. My bad. Right. Kirk, marathon morning Scone. Kirk, where you been, dude? Like this is like weekends usually are longer morning scones. Brian Jones asking about Maurice Hampton. He is at Maurice Hampton, if you remember, baseball player, passed on from Memphis, baseball, football, played safety, passed on 7 figures in baseball to come to LSU to play both, never really played much of both, got injured in football, never really materialized in baseball. He is at Samford now, Samford, Samford, not Stanford, Samford now. Um, go a little quickly here, y'all. We are going long. Armstrong grappling. Jay Johnson's quick to pull a starting pitcher. Floyd gives up 2 home runs and a double. He's a better option than using 38 relief pitchers. Armstrong, that's no. I'm going to push back against you, bro. Ty Floyd, his biggest issue right now is he cannot locate a breaking pitch. So all he can do really is just pump fastballs. And he could pump his fastball and handcuff Bethune-Cookman for 6 innings. A&M, which has the lowest batting average in the SEC, was not fooled by anything. They were hitting moonshots against him. Like, that was not, no. Like, they needed to make the change. And they were right. And Grant Taylor came in and gave you 4 innings of shutout baseball. Grant Taylor handcuffed A&M for 4 innings, gave you a chance to take the lead. And the advantage LSU, a big advantage LSU supposedly had in this game was bullpen over A&M's, and it didn't materialize last night. So no, pulling Ty Floyd was absolutely the right decision. Matt, take care of yourself. Seems you're a bit under the weather. No, Brandon, I'm not under the weather. Every morning, like literally every morning when I wake up, I just have allergy crap. Every morning. Like all in my sinuses. It's annoying. I take a Claritin or a Allegra, whatever, every day of my life. I just haven't taken it yet this morning because I just started doing this. So I wake up and every day it's just like all of that gunk from allergies and laying down at night. It's all bad. Cobb Milliken, where's E-Rock? I think she's in there doing dishes. I hear the sink running. Joseph Labus. Hey, AJ watched the game last night. Said Kelly and half the bullpen guys need some sort of secondary pitch at least cause only throwing 1 pitch won't help much down the road. Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that's the biggest issue with, we were just talking about with Ty Floyd. He pumps fastballs. Hey, babe. They were just asking where you are. They were just asking where you are.
You did?
No, they were asking about it. Oh, okay. It's okay. All right. Gulf South. Actually, Gulf South said, I can't believe no one said this yet. It's obvious for the next basketball coach. We'll go after Coach K since he's leaving. Gulf South, I have heard that 10,000 times over the last week. Like, you make 10,001. Ever. Like, I could show you my text app from the show. and just type in Coach K, and you will see from all the people that have said that. Twitter mentions, chat on this thing, all like, I hate to tell you, brother, but that is not a unique comment. Like, I've heard that a million times over the last week. Kevin Gallagher, what's up, Kevin Gallagher? March Madness bets. Otter gave us 3. Otter gave us Michigan, North Carolina, and St. Peter's. So I'll roll with the Otter. AFC is going to be Wild Wild West. Patrick Dorsey, Scone, would love to smoke a stick and have a drink with you. Well, you know where to find me on football game days, bro. Don Juan Cigar Bar. I love going over there, man. We're there for whiskey and wine, doing exactly what you just said, brother. Anthony Vento, Bucks will win the South again, probably. Debbie Jenkins, what's up? All right, y'all. The home run the kid hit off of Floyd hasn't landed. And you know the crazy thing about that is in the same at bat, he hit a foul ball in the same spot, like over the batting cages in right field. It was foul. And then he hit the home run in the same spot. So he basically hit the same pitch, the same place twice. Whew. Thoughts on Service getting a bigger role as the season goes along? Service? What am I missing? Hire Brady back until the sanctions are over. That's also something I've heard often. That's not going to happen either. So, all right, y'all. Our last one, Matt has money hurt. We seem to the expectation, Kevin, is he's going to pitch today. If he's going to go to the field, if he feels good, that he's going to start. Brandon, Matt, when the Saints signed Breeze, was he considered an elite quarterback? Of course, he had the benefit of working with Peyton. Could Jameis develop into elite quarterback? Brandon, that's been my take on Jameis Winston for 3 years. Before the Saints ever signed him, I'll take credit for this. I will completely take credit for this. I was the first one to come on my YouTube channel before I even said it on AFR and did a video explaining why the Saints should sign Jameis Winston. And all y'all crapped on me, but I will absolutely stand at the front of that line for that reason. Go find the video. Go scroll back on my YouTube channel. Go scroll back like 3 years, but you can find it. All right, y'all. I think we're done. Hour and a half. Still 101 watching there on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. We're at 74 likes. Can we get 26 more likes to get us to 100? I know we can. Please smash the like button on the way out if you haven't done so yet. We appreciate it. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. Of course, after hours clinic is open, 8080 Bluebonnet, and Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Y'all have an awesome day. Lady Tigers at 4, basketball, no, they're done. The baseball team tonight at 6 o'clock. Pretty sure baseball's at 6. Keep saying basketball. Baseball is at 6 tonight. Yes. So Lady Tigers at 4, baseball at 6. Let's get some dubs today, man. Y'all have a great day. Peace.